A reminder to everybody, this will be on CBC Gem starting tomorrow, CBC Radio. Please, listen, you guys are at a special occasion, so please share it, tell everybody. Tell everybody, because as you know, man, it's difficult to get the word out, and we're serving plates now. We're serving plates. Much love to all of you for coming out. We're going to get into our Q&A right now, and that is going to be moderated by my friend, Melissa Vincent. You around? Where you at? One time, me and Melissa, I'm not even kidding, we sat and talked about rock and roll for over an hour. And her knowledge on the music, her love of the music is just unmatched. Come on, come on. Melissa Vincent, it's my homie right here. I don't know which one's yours, but you know, you decide, you that's okay. I don't know if there's an order, so I'm just gonna, everyone come up, SATE, Dave Click Cox, Denz from OBGMs, and the director Andrew Hamilton. Come on up. Come on up. Okay, you got, all right. Yes.
But they didn't give us that shit.
Dan said, but they still didn't give us that shit though, bro. They didn't give us shit. Okay, these folks are gonna chat. We're also gonna open it up to some questions. And I'm gonna be helping out.
What up?
How's everyone feeling? I'm feeling really emotional watching this. I'm hoping I can keep it together. I think that I imagined so many times what it would have meant to watch a film like that when I was 14 or 15, to see artists on stage act, look, feel that free, to know that it was a Black team that put that together, would have healed something in me. And watching those credits roll reminded me of how often it's the Black artists who have laid the foundation for rock music that have taught us that music is the first love of your life, that have taught us that it is your first home, and the place that you retreat to, the place that we go when it feels like the world is not set up for us to succeed. And I was sitting close to the back, and Odario had said this, but seeing people move to the film, seeing people headbang, was just, it was beautiful, and it reminded me of how much we've missed spaces of gathering in music. And I think that there are some nights in the city that feel transformative. There's a kinetic energy in the air. This night feels like that. And sometimes it's a night like this where friendships are made, where bands are formed, where 20, 30 years down the line we remember what it meant to gather and watch this on screen. So I hope afterwards people are super friendly and let those things happen. And with that being said, I mean, we have an incredible group on stage, but if anybody feels compelled to share, if you have a question, if something comes up and you want to add to the conversation, please feel free, and we'll try to weave it in. Are you okay with this on stage? I mean, I think it would be great to hear from everybody. What was it about this project that felt possible that might not have been possible in other creative projects? And how does this make this film momentous?
Can I go? Okay.
It's very Black. Quite dark. All right, serious mode.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in all seriousness, I like to make jokes, but like, this community is small in Canada. Like, growing up, listening to rock music, homies in the hood were like, cut that white shit out, boy. You've had similar experiences. Okay. I was like, I like Nirvana. They're like, what? Anyways, it's because we forgot like our homes. Like we forgot our identities, and we couldn't see ourselves in what we've built. And it's like when you're in this, like you feel alone. Like when me and Cola started as a two-piece and we were in the scene, we were alone. We felt alone. We didn't know anybody. We didn't see anybody that looked like us. We had Jahmal at the time. You know what I mean? We had Jahmal who was in the Carps at the time. New album, Esperanto. Listen to it. But like, so nobody brought us together. Nobody really cared about us. Actually, people said we should probably get back to that hip hop shit. So being a part of something that is as monumental as this, where somebody intentionally brought us together to highlight like our contributions, what we do, our vibes. Like there's never, ever in the history of, let's call it North America, the world, anybody that has brought us together like this, period. Like, nobody's thought about us. We're an afterthought. So like, having the opportunity to do something like this, it like had to jump at it. Nothing's been like this, and I gotta big up the Click. You know what I'm saying? Because big up the Click.
Love you, man.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm really sad because like when we were on the scene, and I was like, we're the only black band in Toronto, and we had an opportunity to open for SATE and Saul Williams. I was like, SATE, we gonna blow her out the water, bro. Who is SATE? we the only blacks in this.
How'd that go?
She put a power fist like this. And it was a religious experience, and it still is a religious experience, and just to be around this energy feels like home. So thank you very much. I hope that answered the question. Yeah, cool.
I can hear tears in your voice.
No, I'm 2G though.
Whatever.
2G, two-way 2G.
Yeah. I'm 5G.
The microchips in your
No, I mean 5D. Fuck the 5G. Yeah. Man, thank you, Melissa, and Denz for and Click and Andrew and everyone here for being here. It is like, I remember doing, first of all, I remember being in my first band, which was Black Sam.
What?
And that was in the 90s. And we were still one of the only, you know. There are so many of the one of the onlys, and we're so separated and we don't know each other. Canada has had people like Molly Johnson from Altamota, the Infidels. If you don't know that Molly Johnson, do you know? Please tell me who knows.
Y'all gotta give it up for Molly Johnson.
Okay, so you probably don't know that she was in an alternative punk rock band before she was jazz singer, okay? So the ones who know, awesome. But if we don't create these spaces and build the fucking table, where are we? If we don't do this, if we don't gather as a community, so that is why this project was so important to me, because it's like, across any genre, across anything that we create as a people, if we don't talk about it, if we don't big ourselves up, if we don't give ourselves flowers, we are invisible. So to know, to be like, how many, I said, I want to give away 2 tickets. Name 5 Canadian Black rock artists. How many people answered? Tell me. None. Not on my page. Nobody answered on my page. And that's fucking bullshit. Because we exist.
Whose fault is that, though?
But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
It's not the lack of trying. That's for fucking sure.
Right?
Radio in this country is white as fuck. That's why. That's fucking why.
Radio in this country is white as fuck. But when do we stop relying on radio, the white as fuck? Because we know who we are. We see each other, right? We're out there. Let's stop going to the radio that's white as fuck, or the people, the promoters that are white as fuck, or the festivals that are white as fuck,
Or the labels.
or the labels that are white as fuck, and start building our own fucking table, making the documentaries, making the podcasts, building the conversation, researching for ourselves, because we know we are not the only ones. We are not the only ones. There are more out there. We know this.
I have to go after these guys. All right. Well, first of all, I actually showed up here a bit late, and as I was walking in from the back, I heard SATE's performance, and I heard it blasted through the walls. And the excitement I got to run in here and see what was happening, I didn't see the energy from everybody. I just heard the music. But then Click grabs me as I get in. He's like, "Oh, yo, you gotta come and see this." And I'm like, "Yeah." In my head, I'm like, "I gotta come and see this. This shit's playing in 4K in this theater." I'm like, "I need to see this." We get in here, and then I see everybody moving. I see everybody dancing. I hear everybody cheering. Click's like, "They've been doing this after every single song." And that, as a creator, you work on so much bullshit, stupid as shit. Like all y'all out there, with production team out there, you guys know half the time we just look at each other and you're like, all right, let's just get it done. But there were so many moments throughout this where we hit huge roadblocks, and I mean like momentous roadblocks, we had a plan and there was absolutely no way this plan could work now because of where we are at. And everybody just continuously buckled down and came together. And that was all because this guy, I still remember the first day that Click told me about this project. He called me on the phone, and I've been talking to Click, I've been getting to know him, I really like the guy, but this time his voice sounded different. You could hear it in his voice, there was this different kind of passion in it. And there was a fire burning in him. And let me tell you, throughout this entire production, I saw that fire. It never burnt out. It always just grew and grew and grew. And honestly, man, when you were talking to me, you literally spoke right to the kid in me who, all y'all also had many experiences with people telling me that the shit I listen to is white. Why am I listening to that? I still remember in high school, everybody looked at me cross-eyed because I was one of the few black guys in the school, and was like, you should be listening to hip hop. You're on the basketball team. And I was like, nah, bro. Metallica's kind of sick still. So you were speaking right to me, and then seeing you continue to push through everything, it honestly, there were so many moments where I was just like, oh man, we are so screwed right now. And then I thought about you talking to me that first day. And all of a sudden, I wasn't just doing it for myself, I was also doing it for this dream you had. And it allowed me to turn around and talk to everybody and keep pushing the crew who also saw that I actually gave a damn and they gave a damn. And it was just so infectious, man. And seeing that, the kid in me, that 14-year-old who was told all those times that the shit I like is white, it's like you said, it healed something to me. Like, I was like, damn, man. That's why, dude, even the times when I was just like, oh my God, I want to die right now. I cannot do another Onyx Experience thing. I went right back to that first phone call and that feeling I got and the passion in your voice, man. And like, it made this so every moment.
Thank you. This is like so emotional, dude. I'm trying to hold back my tears in this shit. First and foremost, dude, like, I really appreciate it. I mean, if anybody really knows me, has worked with me, I'm a very passionate person. I don't hold that back. That's just what I'm about, you know? And, you know, this project is so fucking special to me in so many ways that people don't even understand, but it's really hard for black artists that don't get hurt. It's really hard for black artists that put so much work in and don't get respect. You know, it's really hard road for black artists doing rock anywhere in the world, but probably Canada's the most fucked. Why? Because it's a fucking rock and roll country. So why aren't we there? You know? Why, like that's the question, like, you know, why can't you name all these black artists? What's the fucking problem? But, you know, 2 years ago, with the murder of fucking George Floyd, this guy right here has become like a brother to me, Ian Andre Espinay. We've been doing a lot of work with trying to eradicate racism in our industry, the entertainment industry. And so one of the things I learned from like talking to a lot of people in our industry is everybody's got these issues and complain about them. And I started thinking about it like, dude, we complain, but what are we doing about it? You know? So I can't complain and be like, oh, I'm not getting on the radio, oh, I'm not getting on stages, the spotlight's not on us. Well, fuck that shit, I'm gonna put the spotlight on us. You know, it's like you can't wait for anybody else, you gotta create those opportunities. So when you ask that question, like what was, just to get to this point, like, you know, this is like, it's funny because we do all these, today I was up at 6 o'clock doing radio interviews with this guy, right? And the same questions, but like
11 interviews. 11 interviews.
But you gotta do them, you know? But, you know, one of the questions was like, why this and why that and what are the issues and da-da-da-da-da and whatnot. But I just came back to like, if we don't do it, who's gonna do it? And let me figure it out. And trust me, there was times, and I think he, you know, when he heard the original passion that was in me, and I was like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I wanna do, this is the vision, you know? I'm very thankful, first and foremost, the Factor. I'm very thankful to CBC as partners because this wouldn't happen without them, right? But I'll keep it 100. You know, this film is not something that's like a live stream that we just set up a couple cameras, ask a friend to come and like do a beautiful art piece, and then just let it become something. You know, we had like 50 people on set. You know, and I want to give it up to those people that were behind the camera because this wouldn't be happening without that, you know? So to do that, and we're not talking like just lighting person, electricity person, sound person. There's a person to do the sound in a room, a person to do the sound to be mixed. There's like all these steps to make this become what it is. That is not like financially easy thing, you know? And it's just funny to me because like, you know, one of the questions this morning was like, so what do you hope this does inspire? Yeah, we want to inspire the next black person, but I'm like, yo, I want people to open up their eyes and take risks on this shit. Because I reached out to so many companies for months to get support on something like this. Because a lot of them being like, yo, we want to support black people in the spaces and da-da-da-da-da. But really, when it comes time to put it down, they ain't putting it down. You know? That's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? But that was that moment where I was like, fuck, maybe we don't do this. There was a thought in my head, and talking to SATE and talking to Ian really pushed me, and I really appreciate them, because when you get really dark in a dark place,
You need your husband and your wife.
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's like you gotta like reach deep into your pit and your soul for that passion and come to the top and be like, yo, this is what I need to do. I gotta follow this through. I'm gonna take the risk, and I'll make something that is like groundbreaking and is gonna touch people, and also leave a memory and ignite them to go further into Black rock.
I just want to, there's something that because I know the process of knocking on the doors and getting people to care about the Onyx Experience. How many people in this room know about Afropunk? How many people in this room have seen the film Afropunk? Okay, a little less, okay. So the film came before the festival. And you can find it on YouTube. I'm saying this because a friend of mine who's in New York, her name is Melissa Vincent. If you don't know who she is, she's a metal artist, she's fucking rad. She used to work with MTV. And when Afropunk, the film, was like a seed, and she was like, this is really cool. Let me take it to MTV and other networks and all. Everybody said no. Everybody said no. Because who's the audience? Who cares? Who cares about black people doing rock and roll music? Who cares, right? But let's talk about the fact that Afropunk now, the brand, the festival, is like the fucking place to be, right? In New York, in Atlanta, in London, in Paris, in Brazil, in South Africa. And, well, they tried Canada. They tried Canada. They actually tried.
That's where we met.
They tried Canada. But that's the whole point. It's like, if we don't make it exist, if we don't, like, we just, so Click, I mean, Click is, for anyone that knows, he's my manager and my husband. I'm outing you. But has been by my side and been like, passionate, just what Andrew said, passionate about like getting voices heard, getting like, you know, just me on stages, getting me in front of people, and so many times hearing like, I don't know where to put her, you know? You've heard that before, haven't you? I don't know where to put you. Yeah, exactly, Tuku. How about on stage? Go. Yeah. No, you have permission.
So first of all, Click, as an old-time friend, I want to say how proud I am of you for doing this. It's really great, and how proud I am of the artists that were all up there. I think you said it the best. When I grew up, rock and roll was my first love, and hip hop took that away from me. Hip hop made me make rock and roll a guilty pleasure, and I never forgive myself for that.
Very well said.
I can never forgive myself, because when I see you, young brother, when you were doing that thing up there, I said, shit, that's what I wanted to do. And I had nobody to say to me that I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So when I see you up there doing that, man, I'm like, I don't even know you, bro, but I want to get every fucking album you do.
That's what I wanted this shit to do. That's what I wanted this shit to do.
Like I said, like, you know, rock and roll became my guilty pleasure, but or even my friends in the hip hop industry that I was around for so long, they used to laugh at the fact that I would tell them, like, you gotta do, let's get somebody on stage. And anyways, long story short, man, I to the point, like my son, he's 4 years old, his name is Hendrix. Yes! One reason why his name Hendrix, and he'll always know that. There's a poster on the wall that's Jimi Hendrix. Since my son would speak, I always said to him, I said, who is that? And he says, Jimi Hendrix. Yes. If I listen to a song, I say, who's that singing? He says, Jimi Hendrix, because I want him to grow up to understand that as black people, we can't put ourselves in a box. We can be anything we want, we can listen to whatever we want, we can play whatever we want. So my question to you guys is, how, because I want my son to know there's black Canadian rock. Is it on us? Is it a joint thing? What are we doing to make sure our youth are understanding that black rock in Canada is just as fucking cool as black hip hop in Canada?
It definitely starts, I wouldn't say it starts with us. It already is us. Do you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like getting out of the mental thought process is part of it, you know? But I also think like, you know, it is our community thing. It is word of mouth. It is telling, you know, speaking and sharing things with one another, not being scared. Like, oh, yo, check this shit out. Like, you know, I do listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not being scared to really dig deep into your soul and let it out. But I also do think that it helps to have media partners and people that also want to get the word out and put the spotlight on to actually get the word expanding faster and bigger. And it, man, there's a couple things I didn't take into consideration in this film because I'm not really a filmmaker by trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from the music industry 30 years deep, all right? So I've done a couple, like I did a couple things producing and with a couple like other film projects, but to do something on this caliber and really like steer it, and it was a different thing. So I was so stuck on what the outcome is that I didn't think about. I literally was kind of thrown off when people started clapping after the sets. I was like, oh shit, yeah, there's an audience. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of threw me off, you know? But also talking to radio stations today, I didn't think about the power of like talking about this film to people. Like doing this helps you also have a reason to bring it in the forefront, you know? And I was talking to this station in BC and he was, you know, asking the question about like, you know, why is it so hard for black people to be heard and yada yada on rock and whatnot. And I was like, talking about the history to me goes all the way back to like the blues being stolen, pretty much. You know, it's gone to black, like white people stealing black people's shit, and then literally saying, no, you're not allowed on the radio. They segregated radio, they brainwashed us. They brainwashed people, they made them believe that like, this is who created rock and roll. That's the problem. So and then do that for 100 years? Shit. And the radio stations are still stuck in the box and the template of the small fucking world that they live in. So it's really challenging from that perspective. So I'm sitting there telling this guy, I'm saying this on the radio, you know what I mean? And I'm passionate, I don't hold my tongue, right? And I said, you know, in Canada, it's fucked up because you got guys like Eric Mercury, rest in peace. He just passed away. OG 70s rock shit. If you don't know Electric Man, go listen to that album. Electric Black Man, you know what I'm saying? From our city, who has accolades, and you don't hear anybody all of a sudden celebrating this guy who produced Roberta Flack. Do you know what I'm saying? From your own backyard, you know? Talking about Molly Johnson, and I said to the guy, I said, oh yeah, you know, the Infidels. And he said, oh my God, I haven't heard that name in 30 years. I remember them. I was like, that's fucked up. You know? But to answer your question a little bit, is just the fact that like, you know, it takes a lot of different roads that everybody has to be on for it to amplify. And I hope that this inspired a lot of you to go and amplify. And you know, I would love to see this turn into more and more different things, and that would be a dream come true.
Perfect.
We're coming up.
Click something that I just wanted.
My brother, thank you very much. Don't try to make this G cry. I'm too G for that shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? 5G. It sucks because I had Jahmal Padmore. You know, like I was going to a show, and when I looked at the stage, I was like, yo, there's a black man on the stage. What? That's crazy. I've not seen one of those in a while. And what he did is he brought soca and rock and smashed that shit together. Like, and I was like, you're allowed to do that? I'm Jamaican, bumba clot. Like, like it's gonna be dance hall queen for life. And what we need, bluntly put, like before looking for the outside, it is to literally look to your left and look to your right. Community is small. Like, it is small, but that means that, but God damn it is powerful. Like, meet each other, go to each other's shows, like, talk to each other, give each other advice on the shit that you will encounter in this fucking industry. It's crazy. Bro, people are gonna look at you as a black person and say, incorporate some hip hop, get some 808s. They'll do that to you. Yeah, that's like, I wish I was just joking. That's a real conversation that I personally have had. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they'll do. But at the same time, if I didn't look like me, they'd be like, oh man, this guy's doing crazy shit that's new and exciting, you know? So all I can say is before we look outside, like, if you are in a band, if you're starting a band, if you're incorporating your career, if you've been in it for 10 days, 1 day, or if you've been in it for 20, 25 years or whatever, like, stay connected to the community, because we only need each other at the end of the day. They're gonna come through when they see that fucking money is around. That's what they're gonna come through for, all right? But we need to control the capital, though, okay? We are the capital, okay? Don't let them storm the capital, okay?
That's a song, boy.
That's all I gotta say.
Mars!
It's the Hunger Games out here, bro.
I think something that I'm really grateful that you both mentioned is just what it actually takes to continue to make music and to create those communities, how to sustain that fire. And I think it comes from having a team around you where you can just speak openly and without veneer, where you can just feel into yourself and do that in spaces without judgment. I think, Andrew, I'm curious to hear from you. When you look at 3 performers and you're trying to think about how to position them on stage, what do you think everybody brought to the film? But also, how do you weave together a consistent narrative through line?
That's a lot.
We can cut it up.
Well,
bite-sized
actually, you know what? I think the first thing to actually do is no disrespect to you guys, but let's step away from the performers and get to the set. Just get into the space that we were going to create, because, you know, when Click came and talked to me, I just kept saying to him, all right, man, if we do this, like, I want to take this as far away from a live performance as possible, and I want to make this super cinematic. Like, it has to be cinematic. And every single time I was just in his ear, yo, Click, you told me I can make it cinematic. I can make it cinematic. So, and he let me do my thing. He'd always be like, all right, let's get it done. Let's figure it all out. And then one of the big things for that was the space. I had big dreams for what we were going to achieve with an artist for the space. And then Click came back to us and said that he really wanted to work with Kismet, whose art, funny enough, I had already been seeing all around the city. Somebody already like put me on him, and I was like, oh shit, that is so sick. All right, cool. So Click's like, but you gotta write a treatment and send it over to him and just let him know what's up. And the thing with that is, like, when you write these treatments, right, and you volume over to an artist, it's always kind of a little bit of a guess what you're actually going to get back, whether the person's first of all going to vibe with the idea and they might vibe with the idea, but can that person actually turn around and take it further? And there's only a few people that, like, you know, you work with where you realize, oh, you can volley to this person and they're gonna volley it back to you and you guys are gonna spike it over that net and like no one's gonna be able to stop this. And then Kismet entered the picture, took the treatment, and came back with this story. This story of evolution, the story that was a sci-fi story, and he just took it from a basic treatment in which, like, I showed him some shots from like Eternals and like was like, I need it to look like this, and I just need to make sure we have like a lot of space for them to move through, and I just want that space to feel like it's living and like it's evolving. And he came back with something so beautiful, and he was always so cautious about how this was going to work into the entire production, right? Some guys will just come in and they'll want to do exactly what they want to do.
I got to interrupt for a second just to say something because it's so important. You guys know this. You got to remember, it was literally 3 weeks before we shot. And I'll tell you something. This whole project actually was really, really inspired by Kismet. You know, Kismet is amazing. I went to an art gallery, not an art gallery, like a street art show, you know? And I saw his work, and I was like, yo, this guy shit is insane. I never seen nothing like this before. Like, it just blew me away. And right away, I was like, yo, what if artists were performing in this shit? Like, that would be insane. And then like a year later, I said to him, because I didn't really know him, I was like, yo, there's this guy, I don't know how to, you know, and I got to big up Ashley McKenzie Barnes, who also like did the graphics for everything, and she also really helped, because there was something she said to me, she said, because I was like trying to look for other people that would do kind of what he does, I guess.
He was literally already always talking about Kismet, all the time already.
I was always referencing him, but I didn't think like, why don't I just go get this guy? And Ashley said that. She's like, fuck it, just get him. I said, oh, okay, all right. And then when we got him, and he was like, dude, I love this idea. I've never done anything like this in my life. Like, I've never been part of like a film project, nothing. And there was a point, you remember, like, we'll probably only have like time for like one set because it's 3 weeks from now. Like, we kind of were like thinking that, but when he came back with the treatment of the 3 and how it changed, we were like, oh shit, you get it. I'm like, yo, but that's like, we're 3 weeks away. This guy did this in 3 fucking weeks.
Yes.
Working through the nights.
You know what I'm saying?
Every day.
And I gotta big up Gideon, you know, on the lights, because like the coolest thing is like the changing of the paint, like that's not a special effects. That's the art with the lighting. It's like a special thing. And so to put that with these artists was amazing. I just had to interrupt you.
No. Bro, do your thing. But yeah, Kismet, extremely important to all of this. And he's the one who created our blueprint for where the artists were going to perform. He really did bring that to life. And it was funny because like we kind of just kept having conversations about how we can push it and not just make it a set, but make it an environment. And it was crazy because Kismet got that. Like, he was like consistently just like, yeah, man, we can do this. Like, we can play with some dirt, we can play with sticks. And my brain was on fire. I was like, man, you're talking my language, this is sick. So eventually, you know, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was gonna say, eventually we got to see it all come to life, and like, that was crazy. But before we got there, that was the point where now we're talking about the artists and how they were gonna perform. And if you remember correctly, Click, the order in which you saw it was not the original order that they were supposed to be performing.
That's right.
It was not. And
supposed to close.
No, you were not. Sorry, man. You guys, OBGMs were always the middle child. They were always the middle child. But originally, we were gonna close off with Fefe and begin with SATE. And we got on the phone and I was like, nah, bro, we can't do that. And Click was like, what do you mean we can't do that? I was like, no, like, the better story is actually starting with Fefe, who, you know, a lot of us fell in love with when we were kids. and we evolve into these teenagers, these angsty, angry teenagers, and we're in that space with the OBGMs, and then eventually we come into this reflective space above the clouds with SATE. And I was like, dude, that's the story, man. That's what we were doing here. And he was like, all right, man, I'm gonna come back to you. And that was the new set list. He spoke with SATE, and that was the new set list. It was the new set list. Cause
I do whatever you say, Andrew.
I appreciate that. I saw that so clearly, and especially when you watch it as a film, and I'm always just like, yep, absolutely, that was definitely the right move. Seeing that evolution, being a part of that evolution in the film, because you know the thing about your performances is that you feel all of it. It's so kinetic. Everyone's performances are so kinetic in very different ways. I literally remember still after SATE performed her version. So we did 3. We tried to do 3. We were only actually ever able to do 2 because. You know, production is crazy. And on SATE set, the one that you guys saw was her very first one. And we did the other set, but I went over to SATE and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be the first one. I was like, we can do this, but like, it's gonna be the first one. And I knew it was always gonna be the first one because Kismet, you also remember this, Click, we talked about this as well, but man, after SATE performed her set, and she closed off with the Fool, Kismet walked over to me and he was like, yeah man, I'm pretty sure I cried. And I looked at him and I'm like, dude, I cried too. I definitely cried too. And it was not even watching it, it reaffirmed that was the right order, but in that moment, you literally confirmed that this was exactly how we were supposed to do it. Feeling the power of your voice, feeling the power of that moment. You know, in a film, you try to create this climax, and there you are performing, singing, and you're giving us this climax through your voice, and it's like, damn, you can't write that. You can't plan for that. And it was just so amazing to know that it's like, you know, they say things will fall into place. You kind of just have to trust the process and things will fall into place. I trusted that was the right way to go, and ultimately, like, in that moment, I saw it and I felt it fall into place. And I'm pretty sure that's why I had that emotional reaction in that moment. So, yeah, like, that's how it kind of all came together, but, like, I mean, that's also how it was reaffirmed in those moments, which was quite incredible. I mean, you do this creative shit and you aren't just guessing. You're like, I think this is the right thing. But you have to make it sound like, this is the right thing, you know what I mean? Or they ain't gonna hire you again. So like, yeah, like when it works, it's like, sick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the value of trusting your gut. It never really lies to you. Like once you know it and you feel it, it's probably gonna take you on the right path. I mean, I think that any conversation about rock music is rooted in the beauty and the poetry of Black performance. So I'm curious, Denz and SATE, like what were you trying to evoke for the camera? What were you trying to pull out and kind of leave on stage?
As I advised, it was a folk performance. We're trying to do things very calmly and make the white people feel safe. Did they feel safe? I'm not certain, but we can try again. I think what it's always really been for me is like doing this music shit is hard. You doubt yourself a lot. You doubt the moves you make. You doubt the people you connect with. You doubt yourself. And there was a period of time in my life that I'm very grateful for. That was hard. And I got to relieve myself from caring about anything. Like caring about what people think, caring about what the industry thinks, caring about making other people feel comfortable by reducing myself. Let's make something generic so everybody feels comfortable and we can insert ourselves into the industry. So our shows from like here on out have just literally just been about freeing whatever it is, freeing whatever insecurity, like being our true selves. So I am a first generation Jamaican man. My homie and best friend, Cole Anthony Humphrey, who I could never ever do this without, ever, is a Guyanese guy, and we don't hate him for it. Fucking Simon. And Simon actually plays the guitar for real. And we got Joey good. So like, yo man, I got a good team. And we just want to just leave it all on the stage because we don't know when this shit's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone any day, taken from you any day. And if there's anything I can do to influence the people that started the band 15 years after me, like I'm gonna do that because I know that I needed SATE to kick our ass on Afropunk Toronto. I needed that. I needed Jahmal, I needed the Carbs, like I needed you guys, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully that answers the question, man. Just gotta leave it there, so there's no regrets.
I will echo the same, and I know you're talking about, you know, the doubt that came in creating the greatest album of 2020.
Top 5, like it's 1 through 5.
It's my fucking favorite album of 2020. If you haven't heard the ends from top to bottom, you need to know that album. Like,
It's 10 minutes long. You can listen to it.
it's 10 minutes long. Actually, it is about 10 minutes long.
You're gonna play the whole set.
I know.
I tried, man. I tried to get it for you.
No, I mean, I'm going to talk about you first, because I remember when you sent me the album, and I literally, you think I'm joking, but I literally cried. I cried, and I was so, like, my heart was so full, and I was so inspired. I was like, fuck, yes, this fucking album is the fucking best. I'm so inspired. Because I can do that. I can do, like, I felt your freedom. I felt your angst. I felt your anger. I felt your doubt. I felt all your emotions. And I felt you just, like, free yourself. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And I went through the same thing in creating The Fool. I created The Fool, and it was done in 2018. And mixed and mastered. And I released a single. And then I was like, something's not right. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Like, I was listening to a lot of those people, you know, the 808s and the hip hop. They weren't saying that shit to me, but they were like, yeah. And I was like, I really internalized that. I really took that on. I really was like, how do I make them listen to me? And right? But this is the process we all have to go through to be like, fuck them. We have to, what did you say? Stop looking outside of ourselves and come back in. Community, come back in to self. That's what I had to do, and I cried. I went back into The Fool and I cried, I bawled, I was mad, you know. Pandemic, I'm sitting in my studio and I was like, fuck, I suck. Everyone's lying to me. They're lying to me. Get up on stage, they're lying to me. Oh, you're great. Oh my God, rock. You're so awesome. So why aren't you booking me on festivals? Why am I not here? Why am I not there? Why is this not happening? You're lying to me. But I had to find my own voice. And in finding my own voice, I said, you know what? Fuck it. This is my voice. This is my rock. This is my rock. Rock is mine. Rock is mine. You know? Why am I looking outside when, you know, fucking Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Beatles, all of the ones that are considered the fathers of rock and roll stole from us. stole from our ancestors, were inspired by, Elvis, all of them. You will see, all of them have said that. Why am I looking at them to create me when that's already me? So in performing in the Onyx Experience, to be in the room and see like, this is like just us. We created this for us, by us, and this is a place for us to be like, as weird as we fucking want to be, as free, as loud, as aggressive, as sexy, as vulnerable, as, as everything, as multi-layered as we want to be as melanated people, as multi-layered, not just one-dimensional, because we're not. We're human beings, right? We're real. So to be in that room, to experience the art installation, Kismet, to see Andrew behind the camera and being like going off, to see Jahmal and Juan and Click and Denz and Fefe and Gideon and all, to see all of us just like really hone in and really like just give it everything was like, oh fuck, this is like when I saw Fishbone for the first time. I was like, woo! Oh my God, I can do that. This is like when I heard Living Color for the first time. I was like, oh my God, this is like when I found Black Rock Coalition for the first time, and I was like, there's a place for us, like it just, we have to create these places that we already exist in, so that we can, and that includes getting up on stage. That includes making your music, make it exist so that we can find each other, And that's what this process is about, Make it exist, make the freedom exist, make that expansiveness, that, we fucking rock.
We don't have a lot of time left.
We don't have enough time left. We do have enough time for a couple more questions. If you have a question brewing you would love to ask any of these beautiful people, now's your chance before we wrap it up. A show of hands if anyone has a question. Okay, because we only have time for to hold that thought. Go ahead, Sid.
Number one, proud of you guys. Incredible project. I'm listening to you. Tomorrow's gonna be something at CMW. I'm listening to you guys talking about the fact that we can't build a castle in someone else's kingdom. And there's a fire brewing in my stomach because it's not an and or. We pay fucking taxes in this country, and we have a right to access the systems. We have a right to access the resources. We have a right to be on those stages for those festivals that get money from the taxes that we pay every single day. We have a right to access those resources to build infrastructure in our own communities. So I just kind of wanted to say to the music industry and the live space in particular, you're not going to get off that easy on some, we're going to blame ourselves and blame the victims of the systemic racism in this country. And that's it.
So hand over here. And bro, I'm with you. That was awesome, by the way. Go ahead, man. Yes. Don't make me start who this legend is, but go ahead.
Shouts out to the OBGMs. Stand up. Yo, that shit was fire, man. So, all right. SATE, listen, you already know. I already gushed about your album of the year. Album of the year, by the way. And I don't want to take away somebody's question, but I really just, honestly, I wanted to say that y'all are an inspiration. I think it's important. You said it so many times, but I just want to reiterate it because it's so important for individuality in music. You know, being able to create something, visualize something, and be somebody despite what other people may think about these perceptions of what a black artist is supposed to be. Put some 808s on that. You know, we know what that is, so I just want to say that as an artist and as a fan of this shit, thank you. Thank you, everybody that was a part of this production. Much appreciated. Thank you.
You saw how Solitaire was holding the mic like an MC, right? When he was asked, you saw that, right? What's going on here? Okay, this is the last one right here.
Okay, my question quickly is just, who are you excited about in the Black rock space in Canada that we can look up? We don't know the market.
Sorry.
Hold on, it's a two-part question.
Sorry, it's my phone, it's my mom singing.
I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Here with us.
Always.
My question is, who are you excited about in the Black rock space that's coming up that we should look up?
Yo, listen, Blood Book. Yo, just start locally. Ashley Shotzi.
Yeah, I invited her.
Ashley Shotzi, is Ashley Shotzi still here?
Yeah, I invited her.
Please. Yo, I found Ashley Shotzi on Instagram. And I was like, yo, why are we trashing? Why is she amazing? Does she know that she's amazing? Let's talk to her today, right now. Zoom meeting. And I was a little bit of a groupie. I was like, listen, I love your music. I love your style. But she's here. She's here right now. You can support her right fucking now. And she's developing right now. She's a fucking star. Deshaun, where you at, bro?
Yeah, I invited him too.
A man's open for mess. Just the other fucking day. This is happening here right now. Like, Burner.
Yeah.
Pumba.
Burner's killing.
Yo.
Okay.
We're here. There's Jocko, there's Flippin' Chameleon, there's SATE, Sea of Troubles, and it just goes, there's Wild Black out here.
Yeah.
We wild out here, and we black.
But doing what he's doing is like what we gotta do. We gotta, go for the gusto and really pick up the shit that's out there. You know what I'm saying? But do it together, and that's how you build a community, and that's how you really put it on a level.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up with a double question from Jahmal and I. Round of applause for Jahmal.
Yeah, please give it
Jahmal Padmore.
And I'll tell you something. Jahmal, man, you don't know. You don't fucking know. Oh, dude. This guy does not know, how much I appreciate this dude. First of all, when I left Universal and I got into management, they were one of the first people I reached out to say, yo, I want to manage you guys. And we drove to Afropunk. You know what I'm saying? And I just love the Carps. You guys were doing, to me, it's like Death from Above on another level. And the only reason I say it is because it's basically a two-piece band. But the energy and the what you guys are doing, it kills me that you couldn't be the superstar in the Carps. That's what kills me. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that you guys were on a level. You feel me? And when I was trying to get this, and we talked about who could be in the mix, and I actually had a couple other people that I reached out to and thought about it, and then all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, Jahmal. I was like, this dude is being in the trenches for a long time. And I was like, yo, this is what I did. He's like, yo, I'm down. I'm like, oh, because he's one of us. It's not like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to get somebody to come in and not be one of us and try to do that. So it made so much sense. And I'm very grateful for you for that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'll say thank you to all of you guys. I mean, we were given flowers, and I'm really grateful for that. But let's continue to do it in the lobby because some of you guys have to go home. So I will ask my final question. Is there any opening positions for PAs on the next on the next one? Because this needs to happen again next year, I think, and probably every year after that. And then maybe it's like a festival, and then maybe there's like a thing, you know what I mean? Like maybe there's more things. So thank you guys for everything you did. Thank you for including me. I really appreciate all of you. And I hope this is like the beginning of something more and more and more, that we're out here doing it for ourselves and for each other. I appreciate you guys.
Okay.
Hold on, final question though. And it's kind of both from me and Jahmal, because we were whispering in the corner there, and this was my final question. But now, like, I've known Click for many years. We could go on and on, but I've known all these people on stage there for a long time. So with all the no's, and trust me, I was there too with all the no's. I got a lot of no's when I started my music career. With all the no's, where do you find the strength to keep going? And what's next? That's my question to either SATE or Denz. I'm going to say SATE and Denz because Click will keep us here for about 2 hours if I ask that question. Click's too passionate for that.
I say, you say it real quick, go, podcast.
And I mean, Click, you understand, because as the manager, you're the one that has to hear the no's first.
Absolutely.
You're the one that has to hear it first.
Yeah, and it's really like, it's really us holding each other up, you know, and fuck shit. Canada will suck you dry, man. Canada will really fucking suck you dry. And I just have to lean on my ancestors. I have to lean on my mother. My mother was not doing rock and roll, and so many times in interviews I'd get questions like, oh, so your mom's Salome Bay. So do you do music like her? Do you do like jazz and blues? And what made you do rock? I'm like, blues is the motherfucking foundation of rock. So how dare you come at me with that kind of bullshit and still like turn me down and tell me that I don't belong, you know, and still look at me in my face and be like, holy fuck, you're so amazing. Like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And then crickets. And then I'm not on the festivals. And then I'm not on the, and I'm like, okay. I give my all because that's all I know. To give my all, to be in the music. This is legacy work. This is ancestral work. This is in my blood. This is not just something that I was like, oh, I want to be an artist. No, it's in my fucking blood. So all of the no's, yeah, I hear them, but I'm the fucking fool. I can't stop this. I can't stop stepping to the edge of the cliff and flinging myself off it because it's like, it's just what I do. Like, I will do this until I can do this no more, whether someone says yes or no.
I just want to thank everybody for creating a space on this stage and this audience that feels spiritual. Feels like we just went to church. And to thank everybody on stage for their generosity, for their openness. I mean, it feels like something in this room was prepared, and a lot of us, and I feel like we're feeling it. in a way that's hard to put into words, because I think oftentimes these are conversations we contain inside. And to hear it said out loud, I think for everyone on stage to say things that people in the audience have thought and felt like they were the only ones that heard that is the kind of stuff that enables everybody to walk out a little bit brighter, like a little bit extra in the tank. So thank you. Thank you to everybody.
So
congratulations.
sorry. Can I chime in real fast?
Support the Indiegogo.
I'm really sorry, guys. Before we get out of here, I do want to take a second just because I don't think enough appreciation has actually been put forward to them. We have the production team. We have members of the production team here. I know we spoke about the artists, we spoke about the art. You guys really need to understand that what you saw in front of you took a lot of work with very, 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 very little. And it took a lot of really skilled individuals on a technical level to come in. And I see Alex sitting right there. Yes. Alex is the producer alongside with Click bringing this all together. I see Jonah right there, who's also the assistant director on set, who made that chaotic schedule work, like literally, I mean chaos. People just showing up super late and Jonah just sitting there like, I gotta make this work. And he made it work, we got everything. And all the imagery you saw, well, except for the BTS stuff, is all from Keenan. Like, dude, this guy's a genius, man. I hope nobody puked from the OBGMs set, but like, dude, he's the only guy who we could both like look at each other and say, yo, we spilled that way too much, but it was sick. It was sick. Aaron's like, that's it then, we're done.
We actually talked about that.
Yeah, it was sick. And honestly, like, I thought it was too much, and then I showed my son it, and I was like, is this cool? And he's like, Dad, that's so cool. And I was like, done, that's it. We're done, we're done here. So those are the people that, like, I'm up here, but like, man, it took everybody in that team to bring it together. So I really want to make sure we took a second. I'm so sorry for it.
Yes, and the sound. Like, the sound is the other thing. Like, you know, I think I see Todd in here as well. I don't know if Mike's still here. But, you know.
That makes us crazy, bro. That makes us crazy.
You know, Matt. I see Matt too there. So Matt, you know, Matt, to have those guys come in and really work with us to do this so quickly and sound check. We did this one day sound checking, the next day shoot. So
sound check was wild. Like, yeah, like people wanted to kill each other wild because like everyone was like, yo, that's not how I work. Well, that's not how I work. Well, guess what, dude? We got to figure this shit out. So we did.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
It was a beautiful night. Melissa Vincent, Denz McFarlane, SATE, Andrew Hamilton, Click Cox. A big round of applause, y'all. The Onyx Experience. Please hashtag that shit. We came to take this shit.